You know, things are getting interesting. With Masako really embodying the epitome of, well, a god, gaining up to almost 3% of the power of a level 6. Oh dear. If that lightning strike on a building is exactly kind of what we expect for a mere fraction of the total power, well, you can kind of understand why the scientists of Academy City were trying to create something of this caliber. After all, Accelerator was starting to make something of a black hole before, so all we really know. It takes guts to stand up to something like this. Good thing we've got two boys just right for the job. This super awesome punch. Being introduced to a character like Gunner, where he's incredibly straightforward in what appears to be his ability, but I'm sure if you actually go into the actual dynamics and science of it, there's a lot more going on. Not that I think he would actually understand that. Also, that arc on the throw is something to left to be desired. And there we go. That's how we're introduced to the action-packed a character that is the rank 7 or something of level 5s. You just have to go in with more resolve. I mean, he's got a pretty good grasp on the situation. Not when she starts floating around. She's evolving at an exponential rate. For him to be blasted away like that, you might not want to take your eyes off of her. Well, other than his jacket being a little ruined. I mean, if you want to show a kind of power-up straight away, you would show a powerhouse like Gunner being flicked away. And I'm guessing there's going to be that critical point where they all look like they're about to fail. I think Tom has got the kind of easy job. Fighting for your life is one thing. Shokugou going after Ginsei himself, that's the one I'm worried about. If it's a threat of death, okay. But he is potentially much, much worse. I mean, if she's captured or anything, I mean, there's already that one experiment that created the brains in a jar, so what else could be done here? Also, how long before we see Kongo getting out of the hospital. And did she have the nanomachines implanted in her as well? Can't quite remember. I mean, there's only a few things you could even see on that mass there, so yep, I'd go straight for that necklace-looking thing straight away. Getting in close, drop a few things to completely shut off any sensory inputs. So he knows that she's following him. I see. I mean, they'd have to have some pretty good fail-safes and everything in guard to make sure to have control over her. Don't want that going haywire. You would hope. Also, if that's the case, then she would be incredibly important to his plan right now. Oh, this is most bizarre. Why are the doors closing? He doesn't seem particularly phased. You have borrowed. Okay. So, when he's activating these skills of borrowed from other espers and whatnot, does it cause any feedback to those that are kept in stasis? I would assume yes, actually. They're not exactly worried about that kind of thing. In a stable manner, but if you can overcome the instability. I see she's kind of breaking down of any kind of actual bipedal anatomy there. Her legs becoming a bit frayed. I mean, he's... Oh. And she would what? So you know this, and yet you're carrying on anyway. It's a good bit of data, I guess. I see. So, not only do we have the threat of massive power, there's level 6 deity level destruction, but also a time limit to stop her getting to that state, not for the sake of everyone else in the city. He sure doesn't have any contingency. He's in no danger. So what, he's not too fussed about seeing the fruit of his labour? Well, yeah. You gotta tell the depth of what you're looking at, or you get far too many bits of information there. I think I know which one he would prefer out of those two options. He's right there. She's not incredibly been keeping up with cardio exercise. Was expected. He's far too excited about this. You let your... Yes is the answer, but he let his concentration lapse for a second. Well, if the city's saved, at least. So how do you expect to... Oh yeah, I'd definitely cross that while he's somewhere behind me. Also, the fact that she is just leisurely jogging along is amusing. Okay, but how do you expect to be using these graviton panels if that's what you're aiming at? Well, she might be hiding underneath the floor in any kind of vent or anything. You're talking about the actual... Well, she's not too conspicuous. How could you ever pick her out of a crowd? Yeah, anywhere with a good... she's in some sort of maintenance tunnel or something. Yeah, they don't care about losing her. She's done her job. See, that's what I meant by the vent. So where could she have gone? How many more ports does she have before it starts affecting her? Actually... Well, just as she says... Aha. That's how it got into the building. But the thing is, do you have a good idea of the sewers themselves to, like, get down to her? I wouldn't really want to be teleporting down there without at least knowing where the pipes are. Well, if she takes out you, then doesn't need to worry about the cameras. Don't take... I wouldn't, take any seconds there to kind of think about it. I would just get the hell out. She caught her. Somehow managed to, in the midst of being disrupted, figure out her location. That's what you're worried about? What if it leaves a scar? So must mean that she at least had another way of knowing where you were. The fact that you could work that much out. And what are these little double-sided sticky tape things you're just leaving around? How expensive would half of these buildings be? I mean, just look at all of these panels and shit down the hallway. Well, at least he's cordial about it. He's a science junkie. He can't stop now. Or at any other point, really. And yet you don't really want to get close to him. Yeah, that's gonna work. Do you have something that he would want? So, to grant herself a bit more time, it seems so logical on its surface. Is he going to accept something like that, though? Well, one of those things is correct. She is indeed a girl. That's about it. Now, cue the arguments in the comments section. Hag's hug. I wouldn't go thinking about it, though. He might be able to tell what it is. Silly you. Also, her staring at the floor panel as he's trying to step onto it. Gotta have a bit of a... Gotta have a bit of a poker face there. Yeah, you're not great at planning this out. So how many did she have to pick up there? Okay, he can triple jump. I mean, the amount of energy needed for that ability. She really needs to learn how to run faster. Oh no, her handbag. She's staring again. Ah, the graviton panels. I still wouldn't be standing, in a line with his hand there if he's got countless abilities and whatnot. Seems graviton panels are slightly useful. And she says it so casually. Well, using his own words against him when you're unconscious or in immeasurable pain. It seems he has a different reaction to pain sensors. Well, that would definitely help. How many parts of you are the original? You couldn't have gone with a more pleasing form. As before with her acting, so haha, you're gonna step on my trap. She's really not that good at it. And now what? Removing her air again? Extracting the codes by force, doesn't need to negotiate. Wow. I hope someone had the foresight to change the codes. Just do a password reset. Just don't tell her about it. Him with the codes and seeming the upper hand on everything. But we knew that the head scientist behind so many of the things right now wouldn't exactly be easily taken down. And if she had done it by herself, just for a bit of guerrilla tactics, then he wouldn't have been that grand antagonist that we would have kind of built up. Didn't expect him to be like 94% android though. But of course, yeah, remove the flawed human parts with cutting edge technology. I mean, we really should have saw it coming. You see, this episode did have kind of what I would have expected of this kind of situation. Coming up against the big bad scientist, having the upper hand, and then, shit. Actually, you've just activated my trap. Oh, fuck. But that was just a ploy as well. And shit as well. Crap. Always making us believe, she's got a little bit of an upper hand. Taking it away so effortlessly. How many people would he have had to come up against throughout his years as the scientist, doing the shit that he does? If he could be taken down by something so simple, he really didn't deserve to be in the position he is now. Also, if he couldn't make use of all of his abilities, like the air compression, get a little double jump out there. Not sure how useful it would have been in like day-to-day life, but right there, pretty good. But getting that bit of information that, well, I don't think it's going to come to pass. Shocking, I know. But Misaka potentially disappearing, disintegrating before our very eyes, because her body cannot withstand the power of the level 6. It kind of makes sense why they're pushing for Accelerator, but with that in mind, not only does every part of the plan need to come together to make sure that he's stripped of the ability to control, the one that's down there influencing decisions needs to be taken out of their ear. But Torma needs to get close enough to sap away a little bit of power once in a while. We saw it almost work. He just needed a bit more than a glancing blow. How's she going to react if she regains consciousness and sees him getting too close? But the issue I have right now is that it's escalating quite quickly. We're getting to the boiling point, the bit where it goes exponentially bad, just for them to clinch victory right at the last minute. And we're on episode 12. Which means there's quite a few more episodes going forward. So we're going to get a new big bad. But right now we've got to contain the power of Zeus within the shell of a small schoolgirl. And let's be honest, the only ones that really seem safe at the time being is Ueharu and Satan, because they're just sat behind the computer. But if you had the city in danger like it is, not only do they have to stop it for our own personal reasons and attachments to characters, but should the city be destroyed, no one's been given a chance to evacuate. The games are going on, so there's a lot more people here. It would be quite a newsworthy disaster, at the very least. But with that said, I guess we have to contain our excitement to see what the future episodes hold. At least for a little while. So if you enjoyed this one, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing. Maybe share with friends and family if you want to help the channel succeed. Or not. Because God knows who would want to see this. But get some rest. So I can see you in the next one. My patrons manage to take my breath away quite often, although luckily it's nothing really fatal. So, I need to thank Electricant, Noku, Raywin, Kite, Sal, Arthea, Shiwan, Mats, Girly, Cardboard, Croyville, Ginterman, Dark Shadow 7899, Megu42, and everyone else. I just hope that going forward I don't need to watch my step for any kind of dissipating flaw. Then again, if our world starts to be anything like anime, I'm sure we have much bigger issues.